A lot of people count steps. The goal, we've been told, is 10,000 steps a day. But why 10,000? And when it comes to heart health, do we really know how to take our blood pressure? Dr. Christoper Labos is a cardiologist. Hi, Chris. So, Chris, this idea of the 10,000 steps, that we have to do that every day, where does this come from?
So it actually comes from Japan. Way back in 1965, a Japanese company called Toki developed a pedometer, which they called Manpoke, which loosely translated to 10,000 steps. And their marketing slogan was, "Let's walk 10,000 steps a day." And that number really just stuck. So it was initially a marketing gimmick. 10,000 steps seemed like a nice round number, and people just really latched onto the idea that we should do 10,000 steps. But it wasn't actually based on any science or anything. It was just an arbitrarily chosen number.
Now, walking seems like such a simple thing to do. Why is it so good for us?
Because it's not sitting on the couch watching television. The problem we have as a society is we are just too sedentary. And anything you do that isn't just sitting around on the couch is going to be good for you. So it doesn't have to be walking. You can swim, you can play tennis, you can bicycle, you can do whatever. It's just that walking is the easiest thing to do. It requires no special equipment. You can do it anywhere. And especially if you're older and you have, problems with your knees or with your hips, it's probably the one activity that's going to put the least strain on your joints, less so than if you were going running or bicycling maybe.
So if it's not 10,000 steps, how much walking do we really need?
So anything greater than the amount that you're doing now. What's interesting, a recent meta-analysis looked over all the previous studies that have been done on this issue, because people have done different studies using different thresholds. And when they averaged out all the research, they found that the inflection point is really about 7,000 steps or so. You still do benefit when you do more than that, but you start getting into a law of diminishing marginal return. So as long as you can go from a sedentary lifestyle, which is probably going to be around 3,000 to 5,000 steps, and knock that up in the 7,000 to 8,000 range, you've done yourself a world of benefit. You don't have to hit the 10,000. You just have to get close.
Now, I want to ask you about blood pressure now. There's a lot of machines available to take blood pressure. We see them even in pharmacies where you just put your arm through. Should we be in the habit of taking our blood pressure?
Yes, we should, for a couple of reasons. Number one, many of us don't have a family doctor anymore, which is a problem, so you should check your blood pressure. But even if you do have a family doctor, just checking your blood pressure once or twice a year is going to cause two problems. Number one, you don't know what your blood pressure is doing in between those appointments. But the other one is a lot of people have something called white coat hypertension, where going to the doctor stresses them out, their blood pressure shoots up. So it's much better to check it at home or at the pharmacy. You can either buy your own machine and do it at home or do it at the pharmacy. It amounts to the same thing. But the point is, just do multiple checks of your blood pressure, because a single measurement can be off.
But Chris, so we take our blood pressure, then what? As you say, a lot of people don't have a family doctor. What should they do?
Well, you can try to lower it just by changing your lifestyle. So cut salt out of your diet, start walking, as we previously mentioned. Exercise is going to lower your blood pressure. Quit smoking if you can. Try to cut out things like alcohol, because alcohol increases your blood pressure too. But if you do need medication, there are a few options. You can speak with your pharmacist. They, in some situations, have prescribing power. But the other option too is if you call 811 or go into a Clinique Santé, you can make an appointment with a doctor to get medication to lower your blood pressure, because as inconvenient as it is to take blood pressure medication, having a stroke is a lot worse.
Mm-hmm. And what about using those machines, though? How do we know we're using them correctly?
So they're usually pretty intuitive. If you do have a question, actually do ask your pharmacist or your doctor or nurse practitioner or whatever. The most important thing with blood pressure machines is to make sure you're using the right cuff size, the one that fits your arm. They do come in small, medium, large, and extra large, so you sort of size your arm, and that's important, because if you pick the wrong size, if your blood pressure cuff size is one size too small, it's going to overestimate your blood pressure by 5 points. Two sizes too small, it's going to overestimate by 20 points. So you want to make sure it's comfortable around your arm. It's able to go about 1.5 times around. If it's not appropriate, that's where you're going to get into the problems. And of course, if there's any doubt, just ask your closest healthcare professional.
Okay. That would be you in my case, Chris.
That would be me, yes. Feel free to come by the house anytime.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thanks very much, Chris.
You take care.